Aja Wilson just had the most embarrassing moment of her career as Caitlin Clark just exposed the entire WNBA. The Las Vegas Aces celebrated their 2025 championship on Saturday night. Ring ceremony, custom championship rings, defending champions back on their home court, and they got destroyed. 99-66, a 33-point blowout by the Phoenix Mercury, the same team the Aces swept in the 2025 finals. Aja Wilson scored only 19 points, and after the game, she went into full tantrum mode, talking about dirty work and showing up for her team, making excuses. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark just called out the WNBA's officiating disaster. She said she should have gotten a couple more calls after fighting through exhaustion and terrible coaching to almost beat Dallas. Aja got humiliated on championship night. Clark dominated despite being mismanaged. And the contrast tells you everything you need to know about who the real MVP is. Let me break down what happened and why the WNBA GMs got it completely wrong. Let's start with Aja Wilson's disaster. Because this wasn't just a loss. This was a statement. The Las Vegas Aces were celebrating their third championship in 4 years. They handed out custom rings before the game. The crowd was hyped. This was supposed to be a victory lap, a reminder to the entire league that the Aces are still on top. And what happened? The Phoenix Mercury came into T-Mobile Arena and absolutely destroyed them. 99-66. Think about that score. A 33-point blowout against the defending champions on ring night in front of their home crowd. That's not just losing, that's humiliation. That's getting embarrassed on the biggest stage. And here's what makes it even worse. The Mercury are the team the Aces swept in the 2025 finals. Phoenix didn't win a single game in that series. And now they come back and win by 33 points? That's not a basketball game. That's revenge. Aja Wilson scored 19 points. 19. The four-time MVP, the player who got 60% of the GM votes for MVP this season, scored 19 points in a 33-point loss. Meanwhile, the Mercury were getting production from everyone. Alyssa Thomas dropped 20 points. Rookie Jovana Nogic added 19 points in the first half. Natasha Mack had a double-double with 10 points and 15 rebounds. The Mercury controlled the game from start to finish. They used a 14-2 run in the second quarter to build a 41-23 lead. And the Aces never recovered. And after the game, Aja Wilson stood in front of reporters and went into full excuse mode. She said, "I can't ask everything of them if I'm not doing my job. I have to show up for them in any way that I can. I have to do the dirty work and the hard work to make sure I can get myself in positions to score the basketball." The dirty work? The dirty work? You just lost by 33 points on ring night and you're talking about dirty work? That's not accountability. That's making excuses. That's trying to blame yourself in a way that really blames your teammates. I can't ask everything of them means they're not stepping up. I have to show up for them means they let you down. Aja Wilson just got humiliated, and her response is to make it sound like everyone else failed her. But here's what really exposes Aja's excuses. The Aces bounced back the next day and beat the Sparks 105-78, which makes ring night even worse. If they can score 105 the next day, why only 66 against Phoenix? The Mercury made a statement. They didn't just want to win, they wanted to embarrass the team that swept them in the finals. They wanted to ruin ring night. They wanted to prove that last year's finals was a fluke. And they did exactly that. And Aja Wilson's response? Excuses about dirty work. That's not MVP behavior. That's someone trying to deflect from the most embarrassing loss of her career. The 33-point loss was the Aces' worst defeat in nearly 2 years. And Aja's response? Excuses about dirty work. That's not the response of a champion. That's someone who got exposed. If you want breakdowns like this on Aja Wilson, Caitlin Clark, and everything happening in the WNBA, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Now let me show you what Caitlin Clark did while Aja was getting destroyed. Because while Aja Wilson was losing by 33 points to a team she swept in the finals, Caitlin Clark was doing something completely different. She was calling out the WNBA. The league introduced new officiating rules this season, trying to clean up the physicality, trying to create more freedom of movement. And the result? Disaster. The flow is destroyed. Players are getting called for touch fouls, and stars around the league are furious about it. And Caitlin Clark? She called it out too. After the Fever's 107-104 loss to Dallas, Clark told reporters, "I think especially if they're going to call it the way they're going to call it this year, I think I honestly could have probably got a couple more calls on a few of them." Read that again. Clark is saying the officials missed calls on her. She's saying she should have gotten to the free throw line more. She's calling out the WNBA's officiating directly. And you know what? She's right. Clark played 30 minutes in that game. She attacked the basket repeatedly. She got hounded on defense, and the officials let Dallas get away with too much contact. Clark is the face of the league. She's the player who sells out arenas. And the WNBA isn't protecting her. Now let's talk about the real contrast here. Aja Wilson, four-time MVP defending champion, playing on ring night with her team healthy, lost by 33 points, scored 19 points, made excuses about dirty work. Caitlin Clark, coming off a season where she only played 13 games due to injury, playing under a coach who admitted she mismanaged her minutes. Left the court twice to get her back adjusted, and still almost beat Dallas. Lost by 3 points, not 33, 3. And after the game, Aja Wilson is making excuses. Caitlin Clark is calling out the WNBA for not protecting her. One player is looking for reasons why she failed. The other player is demanding the league do better. That's the difference between someone who's comfortable and someone who's hungry. Aja has her championships. She has her MVP awards. She has her rings. And it shows. She lost by 33, and her response is to talk about dirty work and blame timing. Caitlin Clark doesn't have a championship yet. She doesn't have an MVP award yet. And that fire is what separates her from everyone else. She's not making excuses. She's exposing problems. She's telling the WNBA that if they're going to change the rules, they need to call it consistently. They need to protect their stars. They need to make sure the game is fair. That's leadership. That's someone who's not satisfied with almost winning. That's someone who demands excellence from everyone around her. Now let's go back to the WNBA GM survey. Because 3 days before these games, general managers voted on who the best players in the league are. Aja Wilson got 60% of the MVP votes. Caitlin Clark got 7%. 7%. The GMs looked at Aja's championship pedigree and said she's the MVP favorite. They looked at Caitlin Clark and said she's barely in the conversation. And then the season started. Aja lost by 33 on ring night. Clark almost won despite terrible coaching and bad officiating. So tell me, who really looks like the MVP? Aja Wilson has all the accolades. 4 MVP awards, 3 championships, the respect of GMs around the league. But when the lights came on for the 2026 season opener, she got embarrassed. 19 points in a 33-point loss to a team she swept in the finals on the night she was celebrating her championship. That's not MVP performance. That's getting exposed. Caitlin Clark came into the season with everything working against her. She missed most of last year with injury. Her coach admitted to playing her too long. She had to leave the court twice for back adjustments. The officials didn't give her calls she deserved. And she still put up 20 points, 7 assists, and 5 rebounds. She still almost beat a Dallas team loaded with talent. She still made WNBA history by becoming the fastest player ever to reach 1,000 points, 250 assists, and 250 rebounds in just 54 games, breaking Diana Taurasi's record by 8 games. And after all of that, Aja Wilson is making excuses. Caitlin Clark is calling out the system. One player is looking backward. The other is pushing the league forward. One player is comfortable with her legacy. The other is building hers right now. And the WNBA GMs better start paying attention. Because the player they gave 60% of the MVP votes just got humiliated. And the player they gave 7% just proved she's the real face of this league. Aja Wilson also said after the loss, "I do take a lot of pressure on there, but they relieve the pressure as well when everyone's firing on all cylinders and clicking the right way. It's game one, so it's going to take some time. We haven't played basketball together as a whole since October. More excuses. It's game one. We haven't played together. It's going to take time. Those are the words of someone trying to justify getting destroyed by 33 points. Caitlin Clark didn't make excuses. She didn't talk about needing time. She didn't blame her teammates or her coach or the schedule. She went out and performed. And then she called out the WNBA for not doing their job of protecting her. That's the difference. Aja Wilson got humiliated on ring night and responded with excuses. Caitlin Clark got mismanaged by her coach, ignored by officials, and still dominated. And then she had the courage to call out the league for not doing better. The GMs gave Aja 60% of the MVP votes, but the opening weekend just proved they were wrong. The real MVP is the player who fights through adversity, who demands excellence, who doesn't make excuses when things go wrong. And that player is Caitlin Clark. Aja Wilson just threw a tantrum after the most embarrassing loss of her career. The Aces lost by 33 points on ring night to the team they swept in the finals. Aja scored only 19 points and made excuses about dirty work and showing up. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark called out the WNBA for bad officiating after almost beating Dallas, despite being mismanaged by Stephanie White. Aja got humiliated. Clark dominated despite everything working against her. The WNBA GMs gave Aja 60% of the MVP votes and Clark only 7%. But opening weekend just proved the GMs were wrong. The real MVP is Caitlin Clark, and everyone who watched these games knows it. What do you think? Is Aja Wilson making excuses? Or is Caitlin Clark the real MVP? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest on Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson, and everything happening in the WNBA. We'll see you in the next one.